And our next story is about the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He has been in the eye of the storm that has clouded West Asia since the war in Gaza broke out on the 7th of October last year. And from day one, Israelis have demanded that the Israeli leadership should take accountability, should take responsibility for what happened on the 7th of October. So far, apologies and admissions of security failure have come in from several Israeli figures, even from the Israeli military. But Prime Minister Netanyahu, well, he is a completely different story. He has refused to take accountability, refusing to talk about it with the Israeli media. That is, until today. Today, he has apologized. You heard that right. In an interview with Time magazine, the Israeli Prime Minister has apologized for what happened on the 7th of October 2023. The reporter asks him whether he would apologize, to which he responds by saying, I'm quoting, of course, I am sorry deeply that something like this happened, quote unquote. Now, this is big. For the first time, Netanyahu has said sorry for what happened. The question is, what explains this change of heart? Is it too late to apologize? Also, is he even truly sorry, or was this the result of outside pressure, like an ultimatum from the Americans? Also, who really is Netanyahu apologizing to? Remember, the Time magazine is an American publication, so his apology has come in English. If he can say sorry in English to a foreign outlet, what's stopping the Israeli leader from directly apologizing to the people of Israel in Hebrew? The fact that Netanyahu is yet to express regret to his Israeli Hebrew-speaking constituents is questionable, to say the least. It is sure to come off as detached, among other things. You see, during his recent speech to the US Congress, Netanyahu presented an image of unity, of an Israel standing together against Hamas. But in reality, Israel is far from united. Anti-government protests continue, with Israelis demanding Netanyahu's ouster almost daily. In fact, a recent Israeli media poll showed that over 70% Israelis want Netanyahu to resign. 70%. It's a damning indictment of just how betrayed the Israeli people really feel. Over 10 months on, Israel's military operations have reduced Gaza to rubble, with nearly 40,000 ordinary Palestinians losing their lives. And what's more, Israeli hostages remain in Hamas's captivity. On Thursday, Israel agreed to resume talks on a Gaza ceasefire deal under the mediation of Qatar, Egypt, and the US. This on a day when dozens of Palestinians were killed by Israeli attacks on refugee camps and schools in Gaza. This morning itself, the Israeli Prime Minister, the office of the Israeli Prime Minister, said in a statement that a negotiation team will be dispatched on the 15th of August to finalize the details for implementing the framework agreement. The announcement came after the mediators called on Israel and Hamas to restart the ceasefire talks, urging them to close all the remaining gaps. Now, all things considered, the fact that Israel has agreed to resume talks is a big deal. Still, the question remains, why now? Why has Israel agreed to talks now? So far, the truce talks have been paralyzed by political tensions, as Netanyahu fights to stay on in power by any means necessary. He seemed to have been more concerned about preserving his image instead of actually paying attention to what the Israeli people have to say, what they want. So then, what explains this change of heart? Has the US issued an ultimatum to Benjamin Netanyahu? There are fears of an imminent Iranian attack on Israel. It could escalate the conflict into a wider regional war. No one can afford a war right now, neither Israel nor Iran, not even the United States. In a few months from now, the presidential elections will take place in the US. If there ever was a need for all sides to dial down the tensions, it is now. Can the US get Israel to come to some sort of fair compromise in the name of regional peace?
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.